Hello everyone, welcome. So today on the agenda we have an intermediate level practice. I'm going to take you through a practice that focuses on the groins and pelvis area with the specific intention of progressing our forward bend practice. Okay, so it is intermediate level, it's deep work. But yeah, I really enjoy this work. I hope you do too. Okay, to begin, stand in Tadasana, and just because it's the first Tadasana of the practice, give a little bit of space for yourself. Separate the legs a little bit, spread and open through the soles of your feet, and straighten your legs completely. Okay, lift your kneecaps, lift your thighs, press back through your thighs, but at the same time, thighs go back, mid-buttock, push forward, and lift your chest up. Okay, from here, Urdhva Dandasana, interlace your fingers, turn your palms inside out, and reaching from the underside of your arms, raise your arms up. From your wrists, lift your waist, press down into your heels, and reach up through your wrists. Now rotate your upper arms so that the outer upper arm skin rolls forward. You get a little bit of breadth here through the upper back, and then move your arms back a little more. Move your thighs back, mid-buttock forward, reach up into your wrists, and then arms back, open your chest. Lower your arms down, release, and then change the crossing of your fingers. Okay, Urdhva Dandasana, round 2. Reach, extend the underside of your arm, raise your arms up. And again, from your wrists, lift your waist, almost as if you want to lift this rib cage right up off the waist, right? Keep space between each row of ribs, or increase the space. You want to keep opening up there. Okay, and then again, broaden across the upper back, rotate your upper arms, reach higher, move the arms back. Let your mind go once again to the soles of your feet. Strongly press there, straighten your legs, and again, reach up into your wrists. Arms back, chest open. And then let go, and Tadasana. Okay, you feel steady, you feel good. Join your legs, feet together. Okay, now let's take Urdhva Dandasana one more time. Come to where we've left off here, arms up. And you can even push the thumbs together, right? As you push the thumbs together, it will sort of remind you which way the upper arms need to turn, right? So push the thumbs, turn your upper arms, and come back to Urdhva Dandasana. Okay, now from here, let's go for the Virabhadrasana variation. Exhale, hinge to the right side, lengthen the underside of your body, lengthen the top side, and avoid letting the right elbow go soft. Draw it in, and again, arms back, turn yourself slightly to the left, and then inhale, come back up, and second side. Hinge to the left side. Right, you can let the hip come out a little bit, let the hip come out. You can experiment where the distribution of weight needs to go in order to open up the areas that are stuck, maybe areas that are stiff, loosen up those areas, access those areas. And then arms back, chest open, find a slight rotation here. And then come back up. Okay, lower your arms down, and again, Tadasana. Yeah, I often like to start my practice with that little sequence. I just find it's a bit invigorating and nice way to just to begin moving. Okay, next what I want to do is a sequence here of a few different asanas, and as we go, I'm going to add another asana sort of each time. So there'll be a lot of repetition here. Okay, so again, stand in Tadasana. Arms by your side, chest up. I'm going to give myself a little bit of space here between my legs. You can decide what feels better here for you. If you're not sure about that, maybe start with the space and decrease as we do repetitions. Okay, Tadasana, Urdhva Dandasana, arms up. and then reach up really high. Okay, again from the wrist, lift the waist. You don't have the benefit of the binding of the Badanguliasana fingers, but still create that resistance and lift your rib cage really high up. And then release. Lower your arms down. Okay, again, Tadasana, Urdhva Dandasana. Raise your arms up. Okay, now lift all 10 toes up, pressurize your heels strongly down, and from here, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sit your buttocks back. Now press your arms back, open your chest. Press into your heels, stand back up, Urdhva Dandasana. Lower your arms, Tadasana. Okay, in Utkatasana, the groins need to go deep, okay? And when I say depth, when I talk about depth with the groins, they're moving in this direction. They fold inward like almost like a pocket, okay? Again, Tadasana, Urdhva Dandasana, arms up, lift and lengthen. And then press your heels strongly down, bend your knees, Utkatasana. Find that depth in the groins. Okay, press your arms back, move your arms back, open your chest. And then again, Urdhva Dandasana, Tadasana. Find your breath. Okay, we're adding next Malasana into this sequence here. Okay, so building Tadasana, Urdhva Dandasana, arms up, Utkatasana, dip down, bend. Now from this Utkatasana, separate your legs, hinge forward here, and reach your torso here between your legs. Okay, reach forward any amount. It's, you know, a little bit modified Malasana, but reach forward. You can squeeze your body with your legs, and then come back to Utkatasana, Urdhva Dandasana, Tadasana. Find your breath. Okay, let's play with these few asanas. We'll go up and down. I'll call out the names and just, in a sense, exercising the groins a little bit, just taking different shapes in this area here. Okay, Tadasana, Urdhva Dandasana, Utkatasana, Urdhva Dandasana, Utkatasana. Spread your legs, Malasana, Utkatasana, Malasana, Utkatasana, Urdhva Dandasana. Dip down, Utkatasana, Malasana, Utkatasana, Malasana, Utkatasana, Urdhva Dandasana, and Tadasana. Find your breath. Okay, there's one more pose that I enjoy adding into this particular sequence. I'll preface it with, you make a good call for yourself whether this addition is appropriate for you. If you have knee issues, things, you know, something along those lines, you may want to just sit this one out. But if you don't, it can be fun. It's a nice one to try. Okay, what it looks like is this. First, I'm going to break it down for you. So we've come to Malasana. Okay, you've done Utkatasana and then Malasana. From Malasana, you place your hands on the floor and then Virasana. Okay, hands on the floor, Malasana. And you can jump like this. Right? The most important thing here is that when you're jumping and landing, your toes don't get stuck and then you don't land on your knee, okay? Because both of those things will be unpleasant. Hands on the floor, slap, right? If I slap my foot, it feels fine. There is no issue. Okay, like this. The other option is you can place your hands on the floor and you can walk it, one leg, other leg, sit back. And even if you can't go all the way back into your Virasana, it doesn't matter. Go back a little. We're moving quickly in the pose. So again, it's to exercise those groins, to get these different shapes in the groins. So how far back can you go? And then one leg back, other leg back, Malasana, Utkatasana, Urdhva Dandasana, Tadasana. Okay, shall we give it a try? I'll call through the poses. We'll go through all of them, and your options are, jump into the pose, into the Malasana, step one leg at a time, and both of those are equally good. And to be honest, I would suggest that you do ultimately try both, because it'll give a different sensation both for the mind and the body when you're working through it. And if it's not appropriate for you to do Virasana in this sequence right now, then either just skip it and work with the other asanas, or you may want to set yourself up in a static Virasana. Okay, right? If you have a setup with a lot of height, that could also be, and maybe some padding, that can also be an option. Okay, let's do it. I just don't want to step on banjo, so I'm figuring out here which way to face. All right, Tadasana, Urdhva Dandasana, Utkatasana, Malasana, Utkatasana, Malasana, Utkatasana, Urdhva Dandasana, Utkatasana, Malasana. Place your hands on the floor and Virasana, hands on the floor, Malasana, again, Virasana, buttocks down, Malasana, reach forward, Utkatasana, and again Malasana, Utkatasana, Malasana, hands on the floor, Virasana, Malasana, Utkatasana, one more, Malasana, Utkatasana, Urdhva Dandasana, and Tadasana. Okay, stabilize, steady yourself here, find your breath, and be with yourself, be in this body. Okay, next let's take Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, plant your palms, tuck your toes under, and lift up and back for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Okay, press your hands down into the floor, push the floor in fact, and lift your hips up and back. And then push the floor so strongly that you shift your weight from the arms toward the leg side. Okay, push back. Now lift your heels with the intention of lifting your hips. Okay, lift the heels to lift the hips, then again push the floor, and then as you lower your heels back down, see if you can lower them further back than they were before. Okay, try that again. Lift the heels up, push the floor, and then reach your heels back, back, back. See if you can lower them down further back than they were before. Okay, and then release and come down. Okay, I don't know for sure if that would just be clear enough for you, clear enough in this medium for you, but essentially in your Adho Mukha Svanasana, these groins, which I've already said we're focusing on, need to go deep inside. And so, for example, when you lift your heels up, right, it gets the hips nice and high, but a lot of times what students will do is lift the heels up and lower them down. And all they're doing is lifting and lowering the hips and the heels. But the intention, I mean, in my understanding, the raising of the heels is in fact a technique, right? Raise the heels up to lift the hips so that when you lower the heels back down, you're actually lengthening the whole side trunk and these groins go deep, right? It should feel, there should be some tension as you lower those heels back down. It's not just up and down, right? Lift them up, kick the heels out a little bit, deepen those groins, reach back there, reach back, and then as if you could lower your heel, like as if there was almost a roller here, you're trying to get the heel to come up and over that roller and then descend, okay? See if that resonates for you. Give it another go. Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're working this Adho Mukha Svanasana to deepen the groins, lengthen the side body. Okay, up and back. And lift your heels to lift your hips. Okay, maintain that. Now kick your heels out a little bit. Get the width across the back thighs. Push the floor. Deepen those groins. It's almost like you want to sit your buttocks up on the wall behind you near the ceiling. And then as if your heels can go up and over an imaginary roller, start to descend the heels. Lengthen your side body as the heels go down. Push the floor. Press your thighs back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, and then release, bend your knees, and pause. You can play with this. You can repeat this a few times, see how it goes. One other way that you can work on this idea is with a brick. Okay, you can use a wood brick, you can use a foam brick. And let's try that as just another way to sort of drive home this same lesson, okay? So the brick is gonna come between your legs, okay? Between your thighs here like this, and you'll come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, so I've got my feet more narrow because I wanna have a good grip on the brick. You don't wanna drop the brick. If you have any concerns about that, then certainly, well, either don't do it or use the foam brick, okay? Like so. All right, now once you're in place here, all the basic actions of Adho Mukha Svanasana still hold true. Push the floor down, lift the hips up. Rotate your upper arms out, and again, push the floor, reach the hips back. Move the thighs back. Okay, but now you have this brick here. So grip the brick, squeeze it, grip it, and at the same time lift the brick up, and now push the brick back. And do that a few times. Squeeze the brick, lift the brick, push the brick back, 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 back. It's very similar to what I showed previously with lifting the heels. Just slightly different feedback because you're touching the brick. Squeeze it from the outer leg, squeeze into the brick, and then lift the brick, push the floor, and then shoot that brick out behind you. Move it back, back, back as you lower your heels. Feel the width across the back of your thighs. Spread the back thighs from inside out. Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, and then release. Okay, carefully remove the brick and pause. Okay, let's continue looking at this groin action. 2 bricks and a strap will come in handy for this next sequence. Take a strap and tie it on you. I'm just going to step into it here and place it right in the middle of your pelvis, so it comes really at the tailbone, okay? Like my waist and hips, my waist is up here, hips here, is really, really at the middle of my buttocks, okay? And then it needs to be quite tight, so once you have it on and you have it as tight as you think you can make it, then join your legs, bend your knees a little bit, and tighten it up a little extra, okay? Get it nice and snug. And then you'll likely have a long tail hanging around there, so you got to do something with it just so it doesn't get in the way. You can sort of tuck it in somewhere just so that it doesn't interfere, okay? But it's super snug here. Then you might need bricks. You can determine that for yourself. We're going to go for Arda Uttanasana. And stand with your feet hip distance apart. Establish Tadasana in your legs, and then hinge forward. Now, when you hinge forward into the Arda Uttanasana position, if you're unable to concave your back, okay, this is convex, concave your back, then that means that you need some more height under your hands, right? So if when you go to the floor, you get rounded, take enough height so that you can have flat palms and slide those shoulders away from your neck and concave your back. Okay, so just take a second, figure that out for yourself, and then be in Ardha Uttanasana. Okay, you've got the strap on, your hands are on your bricks or on the floor, Arda Uttanasana. Okay, now lift your kneecaps, lift your thighs, engage your legs, press your thighs back, slide your shoulders away from your neck, and look just a little forward. Okay, can you feel that strap? If you have it on nice and tight, nice and snug, you'll feel it right in the groins. Okay, so now what I want you to do, this is again just another reference, is literally suction this strap up and into the groins, right? Lift your kneecaps, lift your thighs, and lift that strap deeper into the groins here. Understand that action. What is the engagement in the legs that needs to happen in order for you to be able to do that? Okay, then again, slide the shoulders away from your neck, chin and chest forward, Arda Uttanasana. Lift those kneecaps and thighs very much and lift that strap. Lift it, suction it up. Suction it up. Now from the back of your legs also lift up. And just feel the shape of your legs, the texture of your legs, feel the shape of your groins, and that connection where the thigh bone meets the pelvis. Okay, and then take one hand to your hip, other hand to your hip, and with a lifted chest, stand back up. Join your legs, Tadasana. Okay, carrying forward, same idea. Keep the strap on. It's very much about this lifting up here and moving those groins deep in, finding the pocket. Okay, this second round that you're going for is going to be similar, but we'll actually take it into Virabhadrasana III action. Okay, so one leg is coming lifted. But once you lift that lifted leg, the strap is still there for reference. And this idea, particularly on the standing leg, of that groin having to stay deep, don't lose that. Okay, as soon as you take one limb off the ground, everything changes. So keep a flashlight in your mind on that standing leg groin as well. All right, ready? Hinge forward, Arda Uttanasana. Okay, you can join your legs. This time slide your shoulder blades away from your neck. And now lift your kneecaps, lift your thighs, and lift that strap more and more up and in. Okay, concave your back. Lock your elbows, rotate your upper arms, and again slide your shoulders. Right, maintain the integrity here in all those different parts of the body. Okay, now transfer your weight onto your right leg. Maintain that hip firm and then raise your left leg up for Virabhadrasana III. Broaden the back of the thigh and raise that leg higher. At the same time, slide the shoulders, chin and chest forward. Now on that standing leg, are you still engaged? Right? Lift that kneecap and thigh and suction that groin strongly into the body. Into the body. From the corner of your right hip, it's almost like you want to reach away from you towards your lifted foot. Okay, chin forward, chest forward, lift that strap up and into the body more and more. And then lower the lifted leg down, Arda Uttanasana, concave your back. Transfer the weight now onto your left leg. Firm the outer left hip, suck into the midline there, and then raise the right leg up. Raise it from the inner leg so pelvis stays level. And then again, suction the strap up and into the body. Find that depth in the groin. Suck it right up, 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 up. Lift that belt. Straighten your arms, reach your chin forward, chest forward, raise that lifted leg higher, but broaden it. Don't let the hips go askew. Lift from the inner leg. And again, lift that strap up into the groin on the standing leg. Virabhadrasana III. And then release, lower down, concave your back, stand firmly on your heels, one hand to your hip, other hand to your hip with a lifted chest. stand yourself back up. Join your legs, Tadasana. Okay. Now, if you have lots of time, you can absolutely repeat that, but we're going to move on. I want to show you a few different variations here of the same thing and how this deep groin action is ultimately what's going to propel you forward in forward bending. Yeah. Okay. Okay. One more variation here using this strap to, again, drive home the same point. We'll work with Urdhva Dandasana. So I've got a chair here and a four-folded mat. You want something just to be a little bit softer. We're going for the Sirsasana head position. And yeah, take a look here how to get into the pose. It's almost awkwardly close to the chair, but you can see there's a little bit of space here. And the idea is that you'll start with your legs wider than the chair, so that when you lift up into your Sirsasana position here onto the chair, you have still runway. You understand what I mean, right? The legs are back here, but there's enough chair here that then I can challenge myself, walk forward, and really lift those hips up, right? I'm aligning the hips. And then the work here is not dissimilar to what we just did. It's just a different orientation, but I suction that strap up, up, up. So I pull the hip corners back and up, and then suction the strap up. Of course, all the basics. I'm not going over all the fundamentals here that I'm assuming you know some of that, right? So press the forearms, lift the shoulders, the basics you know. But now here, can you walk in and then absorb that strap deep, 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 lift it up to the ceiling and hold it. Okay, go ahead if you haven't yet already. Meet me here. Meet me where you're at. Okay, and you can spend some time here. You can come down and rest as needed. And then from here, what you'll do, if you feel stable, if you feel good to go, you can raise one leg up, just like the Virabhadrasana III, right? And work Eka Pada. And again, it's the same thing. You start to take one leg up, it changes the distribution of weight, right? What happened to that leg that's on the chair? Is that groin still being sucked up, the thigh pushing up? Do one side, and then go for the second side. Deepen that groin. Okay, now one thing that I haven't spoken to very much, but is very much a part of this sequence, is that not only are you working here to deepen the groin, but you're also lengthening the lumbar spine. See if that makes sense for you, if that resonates. Okay, find the length there, the vertical length along the lumbar spine. And then slowly come down once you've made your way through that sequence. You can take a couple breaths. And then go for round 2. I would repeat it and just change the crossing of your fingers and go for one more round. Okay, so it's a fabulous way to both, put in a little bit of work for the upper back, strengthen your shoulders. And then right now, today, we have this highlight, this spotlight on the groins and deepening that pocket. Okay, so as you're ready, go ahead. Change the crossing of your fingers. And again, it is sort of awkwardly close to the chair. You want to start with the legs on the outside of the chair. Otherwise, you'll probably end up with your feet too far, like too close to this edge, right when you get up there. So be nice and far back, and then walk in. Stack the hips over the shoulders there. Even a little beyond is okay, right? Really pull those femur bones into the pelvis, and then press your knees up, thighs up, and suction that strap. Push it up to the ceiling, up to the ceiling. Again, lift your shoulders or press your elbows and lift your shoulders. Good. And then if you feel ready, go ahead and raise one leg up, Eka Pada. Okay, and then don't lose the action on the leg that's still down. Push that strap up to the ceiling. Notice if that hip is dropping. Lift the corner of the hip up. And then with control, lower the leg and change sides. Raise the other leg up. Okay, which side of the back is longer when you work like this? Okay, there's almost like a gift that the Eka Pada variations give you, the one-legged variations give you for your lumbar spine. Can you tap into that? And then release. Maintain that lift in your shoulders. And then carefully step down. Okay, take your time. Take a minute. Find your breath. Okay, we're gonna go now for a forward extension. And the idea here is to take this forward extension and really try to make the links, right? To make the connection between all of the different pieces I've taken you through today. In my mind, this practice is very much a story. There's a thread that's going through, and I hope that this last forward bend, forward extension, will drive that point home for you. Everything we've done today is kind of a shortened class from a longer class that I've taught where I would have more time to sort of flesh out all of these ideas, but I hope you are still getting a good sense of these concepts. Okay, so we're gonna go for an asana called Krounchasana. And we'll use the wall. Banjo, would you like to have a seat? Yes, okay. I think you need to get Banjo out of the way here so that you can see. You come with me, bud. So sit in Virasana, give yourself some height. I've put a bolster and I'm facing the wall here. Okay, you're gonna take one leg out of your Virasana into Marichiasana. And then from here, you'll place it on the wall. So you do want to find a distance away from the wall for your setup that you're not being pushed too far back. Okay, it's, approximately a 90 degree, and really pay attention to the shape of the back and see that you move the lumbar spine in, right? You want to climb your abdomen up your thigh, and then you can just flex the foot and hold here like this, right? So you can get a little bit of tension, pull back against yourself, climb the abdomen up. And if you see here what we've done, this angle, the femur bone is going deep, deep, deep in. So if that strap was still on you, right, we would be turned upside down in those other poses, but that strap would be being pushed down to the floor. And this variation in forward bending, when you straighten the leg, that femur bone needs to go in. Okay, so I find this asana really illustrates that in a beautiful way. Okay, so just hold the foot here, spend a little bit of time, and sacrum in and up, back ribs in and up, and climb your abdomen up your thigh any amount. Breathe, be here. Now maybe this is where you get off the bus. That would be fine. You can work with this for some time. But if you feel you can go a little bit further, you can take the leg off the wall, right, and extend the leg up. But the challenge here is not to roll out of the pose, right? So still, can you maintain that femur bone going into the body and then climb yourself up your leg? Climb upward. And then pull the leg in, right? You can work, see where you're at with it. You can also go for the classical wrapping of the hands here. You take the leg out and then roll it in. And again, can you move the back body into the front body? You press your thigh away from you, but then pull the foot a little bit towards you, climb upward, and don't fall back on the tailbone. And then release. You can go back to the wall, take a second, back to Marichyasana, and then switch sides. Okay, I'm presenting this as an exploration, something you can play around with and explore and just see, what does the half leg position give you in Krounchasana? What does the wall give you in this Krounchasana? And even if you can't quite make the connection yet with some of the work we did earlier, I encourage you to sit with it, practice it, reflect on it, and see. It can sometimes take a little bit, a few repetitions, a few times for these different linkages to just click, okay? It is one of my favorite things about the Iyengar method. I love looking at the poses and understanding them in this way, all the different connections. Okay, second side, Virasana one leg, and then Marichyasana the other leg, okay? Back body in and up, sacrum in and up, back ribs in and up. Lift your chest, okay? Notice where your buttock bones are. Notice that you're not on your tailbone. Okay, and then as soon as you lift this Marichyasana leg up, there will obviously be a tendency to lean back towards the tailbone. But can you catch it and not go too much, right? So as soon as your foot's on the wall, hold your foot, and then sacrum in and up again. From the back body, move into the front body, lift your chest any amount. Okay, be with this. Take a second to feel your groin, the depth of the groin, the femur bone, that thigh bone going down into it. And then if you feel you can lean back a little bit, reach for your heel, go for just straight arms, straight leg here. And then again, if you fall back like I have right here, then move the back body into the front body. Press your thigh away, but then pull. You can bend into the elbows, pull your leg towards you, and continue to climb your front body up your leg. Climb upward. Reach the corner of your hip away from you, and find all of these things that we were working on in those other poses, those Eka Pada poses. Where does the groin have to go deep? Where does the hip corner have to reach away? Where is the length on the lumbar spine? Okay, and then for those of you who can go for the binding, you can hold the wrist, turn the front of the thigh in, and then go for full Krounchasana. Sacrum in and up, back ribs in and up. Pull the foot towards you, but press your knee and thigh away from you. And then release, undo, breathe. Okay, and then carefully remove your other leg from Virasana. You can come out through Marichyasana. And then adjust yourself. Stretch out the legs, Dandasana. Okay, to end our practice today, let's take Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. I'm showing a setup here with one vertical bolster, and I've got 2 bricks at the wall. I find for me it's a bit intense to have my feet right on the ground, so I'm just giving it a little bit of lift with those two bricks. You could use a rolled blanket or a second bolster, or if you don't need the extra height, then just keep your feet on the floor. Okay, you'll be able to feel whether the low back requires. If it hurts in the lower back, then raise the feet up. Okay, and then you sit at the front edge of the bolster, lift and lengthen, arch back, Setu Bandha. Again, I don't think this is new for any of you. You're going to roll those shoulders back, and do make sure that the shoulders are fully touching down. Okay, so the bolster is giving you this nice dome shape to the chest, and then you can extend the legs. Oh, I'm a little close to the wall here. Okay, extend the legs like so. Okay, it can be nice for the heels to fully connect with the wall. That's one approach, or you don't have to be at the wall. Okay, for me, I find that when I'm touching the wall, it gives me a little more control over my legs, which I appreciate. But you can also just be in the room, maybe put a little strap on the ankles or on the feet to create a bit of a container. And then within that, you can just let the legs be. Okay, let your arms go. Let go of any tension in your face. And breathe. With each exhalation, let your abdomen soften and recede. And just be here for a few rounds of breath. Inhale, exhale. Okay, you can stay in Setu Bandha for some duration, for some time. But if you find that you've reached the natural end of this pose, the body's really starting to complain, or perhaps it's just time for you to move on with your day, in that case, you can bend your knees, pause there, and then carefully lift your hips up, and then just push the bolster through your legs, slide back, and then lower yourself to the ground. Okay, and then you can extend your legs over the bolster, cross them at the ankles, and be in a Shavasana. Okay, this brings us to the end of this session. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, until next time.